how did you become a coach? What nudged you to become a coach, and how did that become full time? You obviously must have been paid a lot to be a CFO. And how did this happen? And it's like starting all over again. But I think it's a great profession, and being a coach, right? Can you tell me about that, please?
So firstly, I think I'm a coach by accident, because I'll tell you why. I didn't know what coaching was. I didn't know what a coach does. Like most people, I used to think a coach is a domain expert, right? And then coach can just tell you, do this, do that. Basically, like, I didn't know the difference between a coach and a mentor. And I guess that's the case with most people. But then, like, I think about 5-6 years ago, I was always having this pressing thought. I was like, if I'm able to contribute to the success of one organization, how can I scale myself up? How can I go and impact more organizations, more businesses, and more leaders? So this was a thought that was always luring in my head. And then, by coincidence, at one point in time, I kept hearing from, various different sources, something or the other about coaching. Either I was meeting a coach or somebody would talk about coaching and so on. And it just kind of intrigued me. I was like, what is this coaching all about? So when I did check about it, I was told, you have to undergo training, and then, that normally happens in Bombay or Delhi or Bangalore. And I was like, I don't want to travel again, just for this, so forget it. And then at the launch of my first book, which is A Glance at the Unknown, I met somebody, and again, I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a coach. So I'm like, just hang on, it's just too much that I've been hearing about coaching and coaches. So I said, tell me more. And then he went on to explain, and guess what? He said the coach training was happening in Chennai, and that was like right next to my house. So I was like, okay, I was just I was just intrigued by this concept. So I just went, I inquired, and it seemed interesting. And to be honest, even at that time, I never thought I would pursue it full time. But I just found it so interesting. I was like totally fascinated with it, and it kind of grew on me. And then I was like, should I take this up full time? Now, this was a big question mark that was there in my head, and I wasn't too sure. Because whether that would interest my, sustain my interest over the long time. So, I just wanted to be sure before I could take the plunge. So what I did for about 4 years, I continued both. I was a full-time CFO, and I started coaching people parallelly. So of course, it was more like over the weekends, sometime after hours and stuff like that, just to be sure. I didn't want to take a blind jump just for the sake of doing it. So I just wanted to be sure about myself, my interests, and also to see whether people would accept me as a coach. So this was what was, going on in my mind. And of course, I decided that, in coaching, there are like different aspects, So I was like, I wanted to position myself as a business coach, because I said, coming from the finance background, that's going to help. And being at a leadership level, that's where you can really make the impact. A leader can really impact the organization, So I say a leader drives high performance for the best financial success, right? So I was like, okay, it'll be good if I can, stitch all these things together and offer what I can offer. And most importantly, I felt there should be a purpose, right? And the purpose was something that was very core to me, to my values, because, being is one thing, but then how are you contributing? What sort of difference can you make? Now, these were questions that was like always there in the back of my head. And I guess, coaching was able to serve my inner need, my passion, my interest. And I just felt a lot more fulfilled and satisfied doing it. So I was like, that's fine. I mean, now I need to put all my learnings to good use.